Hey guys, I'm Phil Town from Rule 1 Investing, and today I want to help you understand quarterly earnings calls. As a reminder, make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell icon. You're going to get notifications when I release new videos. Few resources offer more valuable information about a company to investors and potential investors than what are called quarterly earnings calls. If you know what to look for, these calls can be a gold mine of data. And what they do is they enable you to assess how well a company has performed kind of over the last quarter, and as well how they're expected to perform in the future. Now, these are calls that are set up once every 3 months for the CEO of the company and the chief financial officer to speak primarily to the professional analysts working for companies like Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch and Morgan Stanley. Now, we're going to kind of kibitz the call. We're going to listen in on the call. And you know what? We can even occasionally ask a question. The key thing is to listen to what these people are saying. In Rule 1 investing, we know that we don't invest in stocks. What we do is we buy companies. And we know that the price of a stock doesn't really tell us anything about that business's real long-term value. So how do we determine that long-term value? Well, we do our research and we check on a couple of major things. And there are few resources that offer more valuable information about a company to investors than the quarterly earnings call, where the CEO is trying to explain this to the pros. Now, I think of these calls kind of as a mechanic would think of as a tune-up. They're an opportunity to really get under the hood of the company and assess how well that company is performing over the last quarter, as well as how well they're expected to perform in the future. So let's get under the hood and discover what you really need to look for in a quarterly earnings call in order to get the best information out of them. First, here's a brief overview of logistics. They take place each quarter, usually on the same day that the company releases their quarterly earnings report, hence the clever name. These calls are free to listen to, and they're open to the public. It's just as simple as dialing into the call during the broadcast time. And all the information on how to do that is available right on the company's website under Investor Relations section. If all else fails, Google it under Investor Relations and then the name of the company. Next, show up with a critical attitude. You really want to put on your judgment hat and just kind of be like your grumpy uncle at Thanksgiving. Just judge everything you hear and have fun doing it. Now, the first thing to listen for in a quarterly call is, do you believe what you're hearing? This might be something that you find difficult to evaluate, especially if you don't know much about a company. But if it's the first time you're listening to the call, then you won't really know what to expect. If I'm new to a company, I always go back to previous transcripts from calls, and that'll give me a sense of what they were projecting for this quarter, and then I can compare their performance to what they predicted. I also try to have already read the 10K, which is the annual report for the company, so I'm a little bit up to speed on it, right? If they're routinely falling short of projections, then they aren't very good at managing a company, right? Good companies tend to be very reliable. They follow through on their word and they deliver accurate projections. If you do decide that a company's management can't be trusted, well, okay, that's it for me. I'm not going to invest in them. Chances are they're either dishonest or they're incompetent or they're in a company that's on its way down and they can't do anything about it. They just aren't in a company that's worth our investment dollars. If you do decide, however, that the company's management can be trusted and they're going to deliver you honest evaluations of the company over their past performance, over accurate projections of the future performance, then judge them again. Listen carefully for the key numbers that they discuss. These are called metrics, okay? These key metrics may differ from company to company. For example, an automobile manufacturer may discuss the number of cars they sold over the quarter. Right? A social media company might discuss how many active users they added. Whatever the metrics are on that quarterly call, pay real attention to the people on the call and what they have to say about them. Did these metrics meet expectations? Do they expect these metrics to improve in the future? Now listen, because these numbers are accurate depictions of a company's performance, and since most companies have a lot of numbers you could talk about, these are the key numbers for businesses in that industry typically. Okay, lastly, be sure to stick around for the Q&A session at the end of the quarterly earnings call. This is really the fun part. Many times, questions asked by these professional analysts during these sessions, they might alert you to something about the company that you didn't know before, because they're digging deep to try to find something to tell their boss that they did really good. So they really get in there and claw. Quarterly earnings calls provide you with an analysis from the stakeholders who understand it best. This is great, and it's free. Remember, the key here is to look at things over time. Odds are you won't get a full understanding of the company, the management, the moat, the value, all from one call. But over time, you'll be able to zero in on the things that really matter. And guess what? Most good companies keep those quarterly calls available to you for years. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Do you listen to quarterly earnings calls, or do you just ignore them? Leave a comment below with your answer and I'll be sure to follow up with you. And thanks for watching, you guys. Now go play. If you enjoyed this video and you feel it was valuable in teaching you more about a company's earning reports, hit the like button. And please share this video with your friends. And if you want more investing content, subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click the button on the screen for a free gift. And thanks again for watching.